Why starting from zero is awesome and why you should do it right now, coming up. What's going on, guys? My name is Tim Ruswick, and today our lesson starts with a story. And this is a personal story from my life because I share a lot of experiences from my life. So for a long time, I was really afraid to start from zero. And what I mean by that is anytime I would attempt something in public, like on social media or whatever, like let's say I was building a fan page or a Twitter account or whatever, I always hated that first little piece of starting with 0 followers or 0 likes or 0 subscribers or whatever it was. I always felt like, oh, whoever sees this is gonna think I'm stupid. Like they're gonna hate it. They're gonna see that no one else likes me, and they're gonna go off and do whatever. And I really struggled a long time to put stuff out there because I knew that big fat 0 was staring me in the face. And even though I knew I had to start at 0 to get to 1 and 1 to get to 2 and all that, it really scared me for a long time, to the point where honestly, like some of the stuff, like when I remember when I was marketing a game for the first time, I was debating buying Twitter followers. Like I was seriously thinking about, hey, I'm gonna go buy Twitter followers from like Fiverr or some of these other websites where you can just buy like tasks from people, just because I was afraid of starting from 0, and I was afraid of what people would think if they saw me starting from 0. And honestly, like it has kind of expanded into like a lot of my life too, because like, for example, I started making YouTube videos. I started at 0. I started at 0 subscribers, and I started at 0 subscribers 5 years after I started Game Dev Underground. After I had an email list, after I had a Twitter account, after I had a Facebook page, all of these places I had hundreds or thousands of people following me. And I was always afraid to start a YouTube because it would start at 0. It would start at that 0, and I fucking hated that. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, what are people gonna say? What are people gonna think? But you know what? I've done a lot of stuff since then. And when I started my YouTube channel, that was in the back of my mind, which it's been, what, like 3 months now. But I've gotten over that. And the things that help me get over it are pretty simple. One, I learned the value of starting from 0. Like, starting from 0 teaches you so much in so many different ways, but specifically, the fact that I was able to start from 0, even after doing this for so long and being in the game development space for so long, really helped me to understand the struggle of like what it takes to get that stuff going at the ground level. For a long time, I worked in a marketing company and I was a consultant, and I would work with people at higher levels that had 10,000, 20,000 people, or I was helping them build a following or monetize their following, or one of the two. And it really helped for me to go through the struggle of that, to kind of learn what it takes. But it makes you persevere, and it makes you really enjoy the things that come after a little bit more. Like right now, my channel's sitting at like 600 some subscribers. And now while that number is massively tiny, I know that is because every little piece of effort that I've put in over the past couple months, just nonstop putting effort into that. And that feels good. Like it's a small number, but I feel like it's an achievement. And I read all your guys' comments. I know that it's helping people out, and it's really awesome to see that. In games, it's the same thing. Like when I started, when I released my first app on Android, I had to stare at that 0 downloads thing. I was terrified of the 0 downloads. And on Apple, it's a little bit easier, right? They don't show you the download counter. So I was kind of considering going Apple before Android, but Android is just so much easier. But you got to learn that no one really gives a fuck. That no one really cares. Like seriously, no one is out there watching you and aha, he only got 800 downloads or 80 downloads or whatever. Like, in fact, when you put the stuff out there, you usually get the comments like, how does this have 50 downloads? How does this have 100 views? Like, how you only have, like, when I posted my first video on YouTube, it was the funniest fucking thing. I posted this really high quality whiteboard video that you may remember called Finish a Damn Game. And it was one that I worked on for a really long time. It was really high quality. Like, I made sure I polished it. I put story into it. I put effort into it, voice acting, all this stuff. And one of the first comments was 0 subscribers, question mark. It was like he was confused at this high quality video coming from a channel with 0 subscribers. Like, there's some kind of confusion there. But I just thought that was funny. Like, especially spending all the time that I did being scared of posting a video to 0 subscribers. But these things don't matter, right? Like, this is such a tiny little issue, and your head makes it such a big issue. Being scared of 0 downloads or 0 followers or 0 likes. Like, when you, it's such a stupid thing to focus on. Like, I know people now that will post Facebook posts or Instagram pictures, and if they don't get 2 or 3 likes, or they don't get 10 likes or whatever, they take them down, they delete them. Like, I know what that's like. I've been there. I'm terrified to stare at 0. 0 scares me sometimes, but I push through it. I push past it, and no one gives a fuck. No one cares, really. Like, so if you're scared of 0, if you're scared of like what 0 might entail or what you make it mean to yourself, don't be. It is nothing to be afraid of. In fact, it's a badge of honor, because if you don't get the pleasure of starting from 0, you didn't have full control of your way to the top. If you didn't start at that 0 downloads, you wouldn't be able to relish in your success when you get 100 or 1,000. Like, starting from 0 is important. It's important from a psychology perspective and kind of like, you know, understanding who you are and what you can accomplish, and watching that process through. But it's also important from, I think, a business perspective. It teaches you how to build something, how to carry through with things, how to start at the bottom and systematically climb up. Not many people learn that, and so many people these days, they don't want to start from 0. They do not, like, it terrifies them to start from 0, to the point where there is an entire industry right now of buying likes, buying followers, buying subscribers, buying downloads, buying installs, buying reviews. Like, there is no shame in starting with 0 on all of those things. Everybody starts there. Every single person you see on YouTube started at 0. Every single person you see on Twitter started at 0. Every app on the App Store started at 0. There are people that cheat. There are people that spend money on things like installs, and literally that does nothing. No one is gonna say, hey, this is such a better game because it has an extra 1,000 downloads on it. No one, it doesn't add to the quality. And in fact, it actually dilutes your message. It dilutes your game. You're not buying players when you buy downloads. You're buying an imaginary number that doesn't mean anything. Like, do not do that. Same thing with YouTube. You're not buying subscribers when you buy you're not buying actual people. Like, they're not real people. It's just a fucking number. It's an imaginary thing that doesn't mean anything. So the next time you find yourself thinking about not wanting to start from 0, push through it. Start at 0, because that is where everybody starts with everything. Literally everybody starts at 0, and there's no shame in starting at 0. You should take pride in it and really stick. And if you stick through with the consistency and doing it over and over and sticking through it through the tough times, you are going to be proud you started at 0. Because someday it's not going to be 0. It's going to be so much more massive than 0. And you're going to look at that number and you say, you know what? I did that. Nobody else. I didn't cheat. I didn't do any bullshit. I started from 0 and I built it to what it is. So that's my message for today. If you found it useful, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. Once again, I'm Tim Ruswick. I'll see you guys in the next video.